All right. Welcome back, each and everyone, to the nahsee exchange. This
Yep.
is your sibling. The sibling duo is at it again. My name is Trina, and I'm here with my brother,
Charles.
Charles. Yes. And this is our first video for 2021. We've been out for a little bit. There's a lot of changes that has happened in our lives, and we just want to catch up with you guys as well and hear what's going on with you. So this is our
This
first
is the
video.
first recording for 2021.
Yeah, it's just going to be a light-hearted, let's talk type of a thing. So, anyways, welcome back to the nahsee exchange. And as we say, whether you're nahsee or you can't see, this is where it begins the conversation. So clean up your heart and come so that we can converse and hopefully we can come to a point of agreement or agree to disagree, whichever one. Anyways,
Yeah.
all right. So let's go, brother. 2020 was a year.
Um, 2020 is like one of those years that you like hear about, like you hear about like the Great Depression, World War II. It's like one of those. It's one of those years that you're gonna. It's for your generation, like kind of thing. The type of thing you're gonna tell like your kids or your grandkids about if you survive
Man,
that
if
long.
we survived that long, that's for sure.
Uh, so it's one of those. It's been one of those years. It's like
God,
a
this,
historic year in many ways.
God, this Rona is like taking a lot of people out. I
Yeah.
swear.
So it's one of those because the COVID, the pandemic is like a one in a lifetime event. You understand?
Right? It happens so
And it's
like
something
was
for every few generations, or
every few generations. Yeah,
that
something like this happen.
it's something for your time, it's something for your generation. So that's something we're going to talk about. And a lot of
Remember in
ones that
2020 when
hmm?
when you're old, you're like, remember in 2020 when we had that, that's gonna be if you
Yeah,
live through the shit, that is
that's gonna be the thing. As
that's
I said,
gonna be the
something
thing.
you talk to your kids and your grandkids.
And your great grandkids,
Your great grandkids. If you survive, they go and hear all about it.
they're
Because
gonna hear
this
all
this
about it.
stuff that is goes into your history book that goes to school. You understand?
But let's start out with the good shit. Because 2020 for everybody wasn't all bad. So we had some good stuff. So let's start with the things the good things and the things we are grateful for 2020. Let's say five. Five from me, five from you.
So
Then we're
we do
going to
five
switch
good,
into,
five bad.
huh?
So we're doing five good, five bad.
From each of us.
Okay, all right, cool.
So then, after we talk about the good shit, because we have to give thanks and be grateful first. Then we're going to talk about challenges of 2020 and then some lessons that we can learn. Because
Hmm.
there's a whole shit ton of lessons to learn. Because 2021, we gotta do some things differently, like for sure. Yeah. Okay. So let's kick it off. You go first. What is something that you're grateful for, some good shit that happened 2020?
Life, like number one has to be life. You're living through a pandemic that is claiming real lives. This isn't a video game. It
Mm-mm.
isn't some like a game over reset thing, respawn. You're claiming real life. So just being alive is like top of the list. Um, the second thing is family and love.
Mhm.
I wouldn't say I found love in 2020, but the love grew and became better and started 2021 right.
Oh
Mm.
snap!
So, like if you haven't noticed, yes, I'm a married man now. So
I don't see that bling bling flashing on the
that's
fingers.
so that's number two for me. Love. Three is it falls in well a life thing, but like time.
Mm.
Just being grateful for having time because you kind of slowed down because of the pandemic.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of things that you because you're not working. Cause I haven't worked in almost a year, fully that is. So
Yeah.
when you're working, you think of bills and this and that and like everything you got to do this, you got to pay this. This is the you understand like your life is faster.
Right.
Pandemic, you slow down and like you realize it's not that serious. It's serious, but not that serious as you're hotwired to think before. Like kept going and you just slow down. Really,
Yeah.
you just appreciate time more. You just appreciate simple things more. You appreciate being able to eat food.
Yo,
That's
simple as that is, yo.
what I thought
Oh
took
my
granted.
God.
Just like just pop into a drive-thru in KFC or look in your fridge or look in your cupboard and you just have stuff. Being locked down, no work, loss of income, like even shipments of certain stuff slowed down. So like certain things hard to get, like like in Jamaica, ramen noodles became scarce. Like
No way.
a shipment will come in today, like in the height of the pandemic, when everybody was buying toilet papers in the United States.
They're buying ramen noodles in Jamaica.
Ramen noodles
Shit.
like became scarce
That is
during
crazy.
lockdown. So imagine that taking ramen noodles for granted until that point.
That's
So
crazy, man.
that's time. Um, Number four is family. Um, Family, friends, networking, connections that you made during when life was good. So living good with your neighbors, your friends, your family, like all of that reap benefits now in the pandemic because like in the Planet of the Apes, it said when he was doing the thing, he said one monkey weak. Then he put like a bunch of sticks together and said monkeys together strong. And that's family, really. So so number four is family. Family, network, family. Having those people that sometimes not even money. Just a kind word. I just a call for you and say, good, you all right?
Oh, you're good. Yeah.
Simple stuff like that. Like able to go to your neighbor and say, oh, lend me your blender, whatever. Like it's so simple. Like it brought back community into the lives of a lot of people. You understand? A lot of people that were because again, work and past life, you weren't really connected to people around you. It slowed you down and it did that. Number five, number five, number five for me, because I covered patience, all of that, being alive. I think number five is just it renewed hope, if that makes sense,
Hmm.
and faith in a way. Because now now that you're not living on you don't have you're not used to what you're used to.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes now you just as I left it to God. And I
Mm-hmm.
really feel left it to God, but no, you worry less, if that makes sense. Because of the world slow down, you just worry less. Like you're not as stressed out as you normally would be. And because of that, it kind of make you like reconnect with yourself one way, like renew yourself and your mind and all of that, you know. And it just bring about like happiness. So like number
That
five,
is,
that's it.
that is, that,
Five,
I will,
it
maybe go put an
actually
asterisk.
if you flip it on the good side, at the end of it, you're actually more happy, if that makes sense. So that's five for me. I'm actually happier now than I probably was before Corona, before 2020.
That is an interesting because how many people can really say that though? Okay, I'm gonna leave that for when we start because I feel like they have this saying that they say like money don't change you, money only amplifies
Yeah,
what
but
you had,
exactly.
how you were. I mean, that's just how you were. It's not the money, it's you.
It's you. It's
I
really
feel
you.
like if before Corona, you were the type of person who your underlying thing was like you strive for peace and harmony. I feel like when Corona hit, anything that was it amplified it, whether it was good or bad. So if you
Mhm.
were the type of person, let's say in your relationship and before Corona, your relationship was wah wah, and you had a lot of shit that you weren't working through,
Me
and
and my
you
wife
could
said
you
that.
could you could skirt around it, you have, because you have the kids, you have work, you have this, you have that, so you can skirt around it. You can go shopping and go here and hang out with your friends and da da da. But now Corona hit, lockdown, you have like either you're staying at home or you're working from home, like you're cooped up in the house with all these people,
Spend
so
time with
it's
all these
like
people.
you have two choices: you either sink or swim. And if you had a lifeboat and a raft and a life jacket and you could swim, but for those people who had none of those things, they're gonna sink. It
Because
just amplified what the fuck was. I mean, sorry for cussing. I'm gonna work on that 2020.
2021.
2021. If you didn't have that already, Corona just amplified or really exemplified what the cracks, you know what I mean? And then what now was a crack just became like a huge hole. And you're like, I don't have a shovel, I don't have cement, I don't, save me. And everybody else is like, we can't save you because we in the shit too. So you save yourself. Crazy.
Yeah, so
For me.
that's my number five because me and my wife we moved in at the start of the pandemic of the lockdown, and that's what we said during it. Like, yo, this
Sink
being
or
that
swim.
close together, you're not, you're forced to be in that space,
Yep.
and you don't have work or anything to distract you.
Mhm.
You're with each other 24/7.
24/7.
You're gonna sink or swim. So a lot of relationships are either broken or strengthened during this time.
Yep. Facts. All right. So for me, so like my brother, we're similar in so many ways. I also got married. So that's my so I got married in December 2020. You got married 2021, but December 2020 I got married, and a month later my brother got married. But I mean, just in the midst of this pandemic, just the fact that I could say that I could find that joy of, being able to have a wedding, because I was really, me, I was anxious about that, having people in the space and Corona, and I don't want to, but wedding turned out beautifully. The people who were there were there. We did it virtual, so that also forced us to think of an alternative way how we could have people be able to watch if they can't be here in person, which I probably wouldn't have thought about before, kind of. I really
Mhm.
put emphasis into that. So the fact that beautiful wedding, I mean, yeah. So that's one. The fact that my husband and I were able to do that, and still include our family and friends. It was great. Um I was through this pandemic and everything, thanks be to God. 2020 we were still able to, like, have our jobs and stuff. So in that way, I'm grateful because a lot of people did not have work in 2020. So I'm grateful for that.
That's your number two.
That's my number two. I was still able through the pandemic to still say, you know, And like you said, just grateful for life. You know what I mean? Because no one in our household, you know, whether it's corona or other illnesses or whatever it was, you know, thank God we still have health and we still have strength. And yeah, we're still pushing through and able to. And I think even more so during that time or anything else, I'm grateful that I had someone. You know what I mean? Like I had my fiance at the time that he was with me. We were able to go through it together because I remember at the beginning I got depressed. When everything started happening, I got depressed and I didn't even realize I was depressed. He realized, he's like, yo, babe, something is
That's
wrong.
the negative part of the
Okay.
fact.
So my grateful thing is just having someone that was there for me that I could rely on.
So
That
that's
was
four.
that yeah, I'm grateful for having. And then was that three or four?
I think that's four.
Four. Um Family. Um I'm grateful even though we are in two different countries. Um Mom and dad, I mean, I'm not. The distance. I mean, I don't know. For some reason, I felt like just as a family, we got closer during this period of time, and we really were there to support each other. Because you know, we just even from all the way in Oklahoma, you know, we were still there for each other, having our family Zoom conference calls and all this shit. You know, and I just still felt that sense of family, even though I'm not physically there with you guys. And I felt like we are a stronger unit, and we were all going through together. And it
Mm.
makes a difference when you feel that love and support both from in your house and like from your extended family, and you know that you're not doing this alone, you know what I mean? And then support from families one, and then your friends, like you said, who are just there, and you guys can just that we're there for each other. So just having that sense of community, you're not just alone during this pandemic, was good. So I think that's my five.
All right. So now we go into the Debbie Downers, the negative. Like number one is depression. Like this was a thing, like for almost for because sometimes you have to break to mend back stronger. So that was the thing. Depression, lockdown, quarantine, corona depression, whatever they want to call it, was a thing. It happened for some people sooner than others. For me, it happened close to like the end of the year, like it really hit because you're sitting down, your place of work, you say, okay, we're gonna open at this time. And then every time they move it down and they move it down and they move it down. And then it's coming down and like this time it looks like yes, we're
Yes,
gonna be
right,
this
yeah.
close. Like everything is falling into place and then boom, it's just out the park again. So that's like when it hit kind of hit me like a depression. So that was a negative. The second negative was people that I didn't know directly, or no, I knew people directly. Honestly, I people I used to work with died from this.
Mm, yeah.
These are people that I know I worked with for a number of years from different places that I worked. So to get that news that Fraser, Rosemary Fraser used to work at Rio, she was out. The lady when I was at the front desk, that Shernet, she used to come in the morning and clean the front desk and the lobby. She was like one of the best person. You can know when she's not at work, when it's her day off. Because you just walk in and you look and you know, okay, yeah, Shernet is working today.
Oh wow.
That piece of paper is still there. It
Yeah.
isn't like she was the best. She lost like, and then other people that I worked with or know, they had family members and all that. So that was, you're looking around and you're like, man,
Shit.
this shit is real.
Yeah.
Like the third part for me was through Corona, politics, all of this. You start to see a real dark side of some people.
Oh
Right?
man.
I'm like, there, like 2021, there's gonna be people that I don't talk to no more for sure. Like there are gonna be people that we just not. It's not as like cut off, but we just now go deal with you a certain way or a certain level, and some outright cut off, gone. Um,
Mm-mm.
that was like that's me put on negative because you really see some interesting part of some people now, some real dark side, some logic where some people subscribe to, some
You're
belief
like, what?
subscribe to. You're like, what? Like me and you can't do that see boat no more. Like no.
We cannot be friends.
Yeah,
We
we
no
can't,
longer
we
can.
can't be kind of friends enough.
Associate, not friends.
So may have been through Corona, and when people believe in a Corona, the conspiracy theory may have been through Trump and when going with and the divide with race and economic classes, like climate change. Like there's so much things that came up during that time, and you realize some people like, nah, fam,
Like, yo, me have to pre you. I'll pre you somewhere.
we can't wait no more. Me already say second was the loss of life through Corona. But this one, it was not through Corona, but people lost nonetheless. I lost my grandpa. Well, we lost our grandpa. So I put that as number 4. Like that's our last surviving grandparent.
Oh yeah.
So say with him, all that gone. That whole generation gone now.
Gone.
It's just mothers and fathers. There's grandpa on both sides, gone.
Mm-hmm.
The fifth, the last negative was just not making no money, fam. The financials.
Yeah.
The financials, on the good side, you learn how to, as old people say, make fashion.
Yeah.
Make a lot out of a little. But at the same time, you kind of hate the fact that you have to be doing this. Because your whole thing just get mad. So yeah, the financial.
How did you, as a male, and in the, or maybe we should make a separate video about that. As a male, and in society, the man should. I could see a lot of men, and you could tell me from having like this little.
And that's why
ego, but your thing about maleness being challenged. If you are supposed to be the provider and not any fault of your own, because of this pandemic, you can't provide for your family. What does that do to you as a man?
Hence why I started number 1 with the depression. Like that's what it did to a lot of things. Like you understand, not being able to provide at the standard that you're used to or whatever, it does something to you. Like I said, for me, what kicked off for me was like at that point, okay, I still have my job. My job is here. It's just that my place of work is closed because of the pandemic. So each time it's close to reopening, and then like it's close, you're like, okay, got this engine running, we can get back to track, life can start again, and we can get back to where you want to be.
Get back to normal.
Boom. So that for me is what really pushed it, because you were always kind of sad, but you were like, so the happiness was here, sadness was here. So there's this happiness always overcame, but it's like that the sadness is gone, it's there. So when certain things happen, it pushes this down and pushes this up. So when it tilts, that's when you start going to depression and all of that shit. So that's why number 1 was here. So I think that probably affects a lot of males.
That should be, I think we should make a different, I think we should probably make a video about that and talk about that some more. So, if you're watching this video and you went through anything like that, leave us a comment and we'll reach out to you, because if you would like to be a part of, and I'm saying this without talking to my brother, but I don't know if we would like to yeah, to hear your story. And if you wanna like
If
do a
you wanna
video,
do like
jump
a
on
video,
or
and we
send
fix
us
the
just a
video,
email of your
okay,
story and you want us to kind of incorporate it and talk about it. It's
we
like
can do
how,
like as like like stories of the pandemic,
yeah,
stories
honestly.
of the pandemic, and see how people. So it could be
Like
a
how did
comedy
you like maybe
video,
we should
video,
like
whatever.
how did you survive this? How did you survive 2020? Maybe that should be like a thing that we do. How did you survive 2020?
Mm.
Because and even going to 2021, this pandemic is still here. So it's like how did you, because other people were able to pivot and some people weren't. So for the people who were able to find a new normal, that's the question. How did you survive 2020? Please send us, I think in the description we have our email, or
Mm-hmm.
if you just want to leave a comment and just to tell us how you did that. And now we're gonna do, we want to do a, I think I want to do a series on that maybe for the next couple of months and just highlight stories. We want stories. Send us stories. How did you survive or is still surviving
And
this
what you
this
learn and all that.
pandemic? Yeah. And so we'll do videos and we'll highlight your stories and just do a video over it and we just, big you up, shout you out, talk about it. So put that, send us a message or email. Address is in the description, and we go and put it across the screen here. um and send us an information or put it in the comments. We would like to hear that, and we'll do video. We're gonna do videos over the one that we get, because I think
English,
people need that, and we need to see how other people are how they're doing this, because it's for some people, not for some, it's hard. It's hard. Yeah, and it's harder for some than others. And how did you dig yourself out of it? What are some, I don't know. How did you survive 2020?
so
For me,
mm-hmm.
my five, like you said, start out mental health, the depression and anxiety. Like I didn't really realize how much I had anxiety until this pandemic hit. Then I really dug into under like myself and go like therapy. That my the therapy was on, because then I outside of even therapy, like reading different books and just different things. Because again, I said at the start when all the shift happened, and then my for my work, they closed our offices down and we are forced to like work from home and stuff. And and then I'm going to school at the same time because, I'm still doing my master's program in social work. So I had all of this going on at the same time. And I didn't even realize that I'd fall into depression with, an anxiety, you know what I mean? And then if you so having my partner was like, yo, something is wrong with you. Like you need to do something. You need to like what's going on. And because I didn't realize it. I didn't realize.
Like, yeah, man, something right.
Yeah, he's like, yo, something. He's like, you're not your normal, chipper, kind, loving self. And so then I really started reaching out to my therapist and stuff, and I had to work through a lot of stuff, man. Like a lot of stuff, like going back from even childhood traumas, because this triggered like a whole bunch of shit for me. But then, I'm coming out on the other end of that, understanding more, and you know what I mean? So yeah, the depression and the anxiety. And then the one big thing I realized was, if like, for example, if you walk into a room and there's a stinky smell, as when you walk in there, you're like, "Oh, stink." But if you're in a room for a period of time, now you're become accustomed to it. Like, you know what I mean? Like you're like, nothing is wrong here. I use that example to say, like, I realized that I've always been an anxious person. But because it's me and that's the way I've always been, I did not realize that it was there.
Became more self-aware.
Yes, I became more self aware that, yo, I have a level of underlying anxiety, which I did not realize until this pandemic kicked it up in that high gear. And literally, I was just like, just completely imploding on myself. Um,
Number two,
Number two is like, with everything that's going on, the whole fear, you know what I'm saying? Like, I used to like watch the news because I need to know what's going on, especially here in the States. Like, what are they gonna do? What are they implementing? Da da da, this and that, da da. Da. And then I realized I need that was also contributing to my anxiety and this fear of going outside. Do you even go to the grocery store because this corona business? Where do you go? What can you do? Like, you're so scared of what's going on. So fear, and the fear and anxiety go, oh jeez, what a recipe for disaster, yo. So I just turned off the TV. I'm like, I'm not watching this shit no more. I remember, when they used to have the White House briefing, used to come out on every day. I just, nope, done. I'm not watching that. Not, I turned off the news for a long time. I'm like, I have to just, I have enough to deal with. I can't watch all this shit. So yeah, that's my two. Just the whole fear of the unknown. Um, Three, like all of this shit, I struggled in school. School was hard. School was just extra, just hard, man. Like there's so many times I just felt like giving up. I was just like, I'm done. I'm not even gonna do this assignment. I don't care. But you know what I mean. But all that plays in. If you have depression and anxiety and fear, how you going to function at school?
hmm,
It's like on the list of importance. School is, but you know, I struggled through it, and I was able to end without giving up on whatever. So number four,
four, yeah.
um, finances. When you look at, you know, is again like, am I gonna have a job? Do you even have money in the bank? Like, how do you, if you do lose your job, how long can you survive on this shit? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like all that stuff. Like, you feel like, let me tell you what it is. Feeling, is it unprepared? Because when you had plenty, you didn't think like this, something like this could have happened. So it's
Uh,
like you didn't.
Old people have a saying, say for rainy day, like this was like a rainy year.
It's like a monsoon.
Like
You know what I'm
that's like
saying?
a monsoon that lasted for a year.
It was
So
just
after this, you have to update that statement to stay for the rainy year.
say for the rainy year. Yeah.
Don't say for the rainy day or days. Stay for a rainy
Rainy
year.
year. Yep. Yep. Um, and number five, I'm not a big, I don't like change. So just, it's a whole bunch of change. So changing everything. It's like your whole way of life just got turned upside down. So that was yeah.
Yeah, I think for most people, it's like probably adding a few personal details. I think that's pretty much it for
Yeah.
most people. Some people had like we have probably one or two that's widely different from those, but those 10 was probably pretty much what I think most people went through. for 2020. You understand? So
Yeah.
those are like personal 5 for both of us on both sides. Um, yeah, that's pretty much it for
Yeah.
2020. 2020 was, I look at it as good and bad because the bad is pandemic, death, finances. The good is what you learn and the things that change because of 2020, a lot of stuff that could have been online is now online. And I can leave my house even before this pandemic. So it worked out. So that's one of the things for like 2020. I was like, yes, you can now do this online. You can now do this banking transaction.
It forced change.
Forced a lot of companies to now facilitate that because Jamaica is kind of slow on that. We're getting there, but so far. But it forced a lot of places to do that, like get stuff online. So now you can sit down on your phone or your computer. So 2020 it's bad, but the silver linings, man. Silver linings in the cloud, they're there if you're looking for them. So
If you're looking for them.
take anything away from all of this is perspective.
Mm-hmm.
Silver lining. There's a silver lining in a dark cloud. This year exemplified what that meant. Because if you really looked for a positive, you can find it, you can home into it, and you could grow from it. But if you're just for the clouds, man,
You're a
was
Debbie Downer. You're gonna be even more a Debbie Downer.
yeah,
All right.
pretty much it.
Rate, comment, subscribe. Tell us in the comments your 5. Your 5 things you're
Five,
grateful for and the
5
5
good and
things
bad.
that, in that 5 good and 5 bad. Tell us about it in the comments. And then also, as again, how did you what we said earlier about, how
Just
did you survive
send us your
2020?
story.
Send us your stories. And
You
we
can
will.
comment the story if you want to write it all there. If that's public. If not, if you want to be anonymous, like hide my ID, that's fine.
That's fine.
Send us a story and we'll highlight it on the channel.
All right. Well, 2021. Here we go.
Oh.
Peace
Later,
out.
guys.
Bye.